these kids have the attention span of a tsetse fly, right? Like they literally are going from thing to thing, multiple screens. So for us in cinema, like when you look at that big screen,
this is the moment.
This is the moment where everyone's got their phones down, there's no other secondary devices, you have their attention, and we're seeing how it's breaking through.
This is Evan Shapiro, your media cartographer for Big Brains at Cannes. I've got Catherine Sullivan, president of National CineMedia. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
I've been doing a lot of research of late of the two media ecosystems that I've been talking about. One for millennials and younger, and Gen Xers and olders. And one of the things that was most surprising to me was the median age of movie theaters. 30 years old, younger than YouTube, younger than Instagram. I didn't realize young people went to the movies in such big numbers over the course of every year, but that's the fact, right?
I mean, it's stunning, and quite frankly, no matter how many times we say it, every marketer, every agency we talk to still says, wait, your average age is 30, you're 62% multicultural, like you over-index in the most difficult to find audiences. I'm like, yes, we do. And they're back in a big way.
And these audiences, Gen Z in particular, so many marketers talk about having a hard time reaching them.
Yeah.
And getting their attention, which I think is a bit of bullshit. Like I think that people our age just like to write off younger generations.
Correct.
But I think part of it also is they are hard to reach. Their attention is fragmented. They're on social media a great deal, and yet they're not just showing up at the movie theaters, but they're showing up oftentimes early in costume. Like it's a cultural event in a lot of Gen Z lifestyles is to go to the movie theaters dressed up as Wicked or whatever. And you're seeing this as an opportunity to grab audiences at their height of attention, right?
100%. I do think that between COVID and all the things that we all went through, but particularly that generation just needs to get out in mass.
Be social,
they just want to have real life experiences again. And we're seeing them, and they love the movies. 76 million people will be going to the movies between now and Labor Day. Like,
yeah, this is the sweet spot, right?
They're huge numbers, and yes, they just want these experiences, and they want to have these cultural relevant moments that they can connect to with their friends. Not alone, they don't want to sit on their couch, they don't want to be in their little slippers, they're deciding to get out in mass.
What I also found fascinating, and we've been working together for a little bit, is the level of granularity and data that your company has, which I found, it was not something I really thought of theoretically before we started talking about this stuff. But between the ticket sales and the purchases they make in theaters and other things, you're getting a huge identity graph or data graph for the consumers who come see the movies.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly one of the things that attracted me to come here. It was not only just the age of the audience, the over-indexing in terms of who we are, but it was the data all the way around. I was like, I could not believe how much information, and 53% of the people that go to the movies then go and do something.
They make a purchase right
whether they're
after.
Going to the mall, whether they're going out to dinner, but they're literally leaving
Getting
to
gas,
purchase.
Whatever, yeah.
And we see that. We see it, we know it, we retarget. So yes, our products that we're building around that are massive, are like better than anyone's, and our ability to democratize data, because that was one thing coming from the agency side, watching everybody build their moats. I was like, no. We and Manu as our Chief Data and Innovation Officer, we talked about it. I'm like, we need to democratize data. We need to allow people, however they want to work with us, to provide the KPIs around their business that we can actually deliver and say, no, we can prove out to you what we do, why we do it, and who our audience is. So it's been an amazing year so far with the company.
And you mentioned Manu, who's your head of innovation. You just guys just struck a deal with iSpot. I had Sean here earlier.
Yeah.
Explain why iSpot. First of all, why you chose to work with iSpot, but then secondarily, what does iSpot do for National CineMedia and the audience that you're providing?
So look, we already had a relationship with them. We've just expanded it, but part of it is, again, going back to democratizing data. We had a number of massive clients who were like, we want to work with iSpot. iSpot is who we need to deal with. And I was like, fantastic, let's do it. Let's expand it, let's make it bigger. Let's make sure that we have a relationship with them that allows our clients the level of granularity that they need to prove out. I mean, look, as I said, coming from the agency side, watching our clients try to decipher what part of their media mix is working is terrifying. It's literally terrifying. So the more we can help CMOs and heads of media prove out their value, we're in. So iSpot has been a partner that made sense for a lot of our clients based on the necessity of their business needs. That we're like, yeah, let's do it and let's do it better and bigger. And here we are.
You and I have known each other a minute.
Yes.
You didn't have to laugh that hard. You've been on pretty much all sides of the coin of the ad game here. And what do you think? You look at a product like National CineMedia, an audience like National CineMedia has, where they're all staring in the same direction in a dark room, and the level of attention is kind of unmatched. Is attention now the metric that we're looking at? Because it used to be reach. But it doesn't feel like reach does it anymore. To me, engagement, attention, these are the metrics that we need to be looking for.
I would agree with you, and not only because we over-deliver in such a massive way, but it was something that we were, over the last few years, really taking a deep look at, because our clients were saying, what should we be looking at next, to your point? In a fragmented, nanosecond world that everyone lives in, especially with Gen Z and below, these kids have the attention span of a tsetse fly, right? Like they literally are going from thing to thing, multiple screens. So for us in cinema, like when you look at that big screen,
this is the moment.
This is the moment where everyone's got their phones down, there's no other secondary devices, you have their attention, and we're seeing how it's breaking through. So something that we were looking at substantially at Omnicom is now something that I'm seeing really play out for what we do in the most premium video screen that's out there. So I do think attention is what you have to pay attention to, no pun intended or pun intended.
There you go.
I do think that if you can't actually prove out the value of what you're doing, like what are we doing? And I think attention is a massive way to really take a look at, did I break through? Was there an actionable thing that happened post my creative being up on that screen? And the answer is yes.
So I hope you don't mind, I'm going to put you on the spot. You've pivoted a number of times in your career, I have as well. We're at a pretty big moment of flux in our industry. If you had some advice for someone who's early stage career, let's say a Gen Xer, or a Gen Zer who is in the industry right now, what would you say about keeping your focus, keeping your head up, really managing to keep moving ahead as the industry swirls a little bit?
I mean, be true to yourself, first of all, right? Like you have to be at a place that you believe in, that you can align with. There are no more straight lines, right? You know, my dad worked at Merrill Lynch for 35 years. Like that will never happen again. I think that you just have to continually keep your head up, ask the questions, and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable in what you're doing it too long.
That's true.
And you got to go. Time to go.
Well, and I really applaud your continual pursuit of reinvention and learning and curiosity. It's been really great working with you, and it's good to see you here in Cannes.
Good to see you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is Evan Shapiro for Big Brains at Cannes. Check you later.